Greetings, fellow humans. No full reaction this week, but wanted to give some thoughts on the new Owl House episode, Knock, Knock, Knockin' on Hooty's Door. This episode was a bit of a mystery. Not much promo to speak of, but with that title and a focus on Hooty, it seemed like this might be the moment where Owl House gave us a breather, and by now you all probably know that that was not at all what happened. Instead, we got one of the most overwhelming episodes of the whole show, with the team cramming about 3 episodes worth of material into one, and I'm just going to come right out and say that I don't think it worked very well, and I know I'm in the minority when I say this because Knock Knock Knockin' has received nothing but lavish praise from the fans. But my argument here is that while all of the reveals and storylines were very big and important, there was not nearly enough time devoted to them to make them feel satisfying. And when I say these stories were important, I mean it. Like King discovering that he has powers, Eda using her owl beast curse to her advantage, gaining the ability to fly and who knows what else, and Amity and Luz starting their romantic relationship in earnest. These are huge developments, and credit where it's due to the team. The framing device of having the whole episode take place within a letter from Hooty to Lilith was a natural way to package it. The ideas on display here are all great. In fact, they're so great that I think they deserve their own episodes. To that end, another big problem is that not only was there not enough time for each of these 3 vignettes to marinate, but tonally speaking, they just don't go together. King's story is all about coming of age and searching for answers to what he might become when he grows up. And King and Hooty play well off each other. There was a lot of potential there, a great balance of visual humor with some real emotionality. I just think there could have been so much more explored here. There could have been more trials that Hooty put King through. At the end, they did a lot more telling than showing here. Eda's story, meanwhile, is this absolutely guttural exploration of how her curse has separated her from everyone she loves. It features moments that really cross a line between heartbreaking and just downright uncomfortable. This was a very hard segment for me to watch, and not in a good or terribly rewarding way. Some really unpleasant imagery and a lot of pain explored here. Could have probably hit a lot better had it been diluted over a longer stretch of time. And I really hate to say that because I know there's a lot of people who find Eda and her owl beast curse something that they find resonance with to mental or physical health. I just find it really sad how much pain she's in when they really delve into something like that. I never have really liked seeing Eda in that form or grappling with that beast. It just really doesn't sit well with me. And this one was, I think, one of the more egregious examples of that. That is just a personal choice. But then right after that, you get your awkward romantic comedy sketch between Luz and Amity, and I can't help but think that this would have been so much more fun if the rest of the cast had been able to get in on it. We just needed more perspectives, more scenarios. I would have loved a team-up effort between the Blight twins and Gus and Willow and Eda to get these 2 girls together instead of the bog-standard awkward moments and misunderstandings that we got. Not only would it have been more diverse, but it would have made the moment of peace between the 2 girls at the end so much more rewarding when they just have to be themselves. I think that could have been a really sweet episode, and I'm disappointed that we didn't get it. And then there's this overarching plot with Hooty and Lilith, which, like I said, is a fantastic framing device, but it's one that is naturally very lighthearted, and it would have made for a great setup for a filler episode, which is what so many of us were expecting this to be. And look, sometimes you need a filler episode, especially with the avalanche of information the Owl House has thrown at us this season, week after week. I was actually kind of looking forward to taking a break. That may be a bit of an exaggeration. I've been enjoying the plot of this season immensely and the way it's constantly built on itself, but I think one point still stands. My 3 favorite episodes so far this season are Hunting Palismen, Echoes of the Past, and Escaping Expulsion. They all basically have one single plot line that they explore for 22 minutes, and they end up being some of the most cohesive and nuanced episodes of the Owl House because of that. They have time to stew in the show's mystery and lore, they give the characters a chance to fully react to their situations, and they give the creative team the room they need to work some real magic. Knockin is the antithesis of that, an episode that seeks to dive into as many plot lines as possible and weave through a myriad of emotions and tones so jarringly that nothing lands with as much impact as it really should. And that's not even touching on whatever the heck these things are who also show up here. It's like going to see a music festival, but all of the bands are on the same stage at the same time, and there's no way I'm going to enjoy it, no matter how good they may be in theory individually. And that is unfortunately where I have to leave it with this episode. I may not have liked it, but I am really looking forward to next week seeing Amity and Hunter square off in Eclipse Lake, and I'm excited to see where the character arcs that are explored here go next. I'm really hoping that I have something a bit more positive to say about next week's episode, but until then, peace.